Why go straight to Mars with a pretty great chance of you dying when we could have just go to the moon with a much less chance of dying, right? That would make sense if, in fact, the plan was, you know, a real space colonization type thing. Rockets don't work in space.
You know, the vast majority of scientists out there, they actually support evolutionary theory. If you got 8 to 9 million scientists out there and only a couple thousand have been polled, even if there are some of the major universities in the world, that's not really very convincing. I don't see any evidence out there supporting the claim that the majority of scientists out there actually support evolutionary theory.
God can certainly execute healthy babies. And there's theological reasons we could justify that for, where God has the right to do with his creation as he desires. You wouldn't necessarily agree with that, but from the Christian perspective, that can be justified and coherently done within the Christian circles.
I've never filmed anything that looks like I would expect a satellite to look. I've filmed some things that were a bit fuzzy, and if you stretched your imagination, you could kind of say, well, maybe that is a satellite with one wing or something like that, but only a couple, and they're not in very good focus to logically deduce that satellites do not exist as they are described.
I honestly don't know whether what you're saying there is true, because this is mumbo jumbo to me. This is pseudoscience to me.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's pseudoscience.
That's why I said it may be pseudoscience to me, but it may be science to you. Because of that reason, I may not understand it, and I admit that I don't understand it. But that doesn't mean...
So you're arguing from ignorance.
Yeah.
Now, for anybody else out there who's kind of sensible, let's just bear this in mind. The Earth is flat, okay? The oceans, at least, are flat. The mountains are not flat. The mountains, okay? But it's flat. The world is freaking flat. We don't know what's going on above us.
It's my firm belief that the Earth is flat. We've been lied to about everything. The moon landings were a hoax, and the space program, as we are told, is a hoax. Satellites are a hoax, as we are told.
Even though we filmed them.
But I'm not going to spend time, right? This is what I'm telling you in my own brain. In my life, I don't care about the detail.
The moon apparently orbiting the Earth like this. What happens when the moon gets around here? How come it's not pulled in by the sun when it's closer to the sun? Apparently the Earth manages to cling on to the moon in its orbit even though it is going around.
Are you a moron? Use your brain. I don't need to cite a source when the goddamn thing is a matter of historical record. You don't need to cite a source if it's a matter of historical record, dumbass. The only time you need to cite a source is if there's any question about it. Well, there's no question about it. There's a question.
The baseline of reality in terms of character is the immutable nature of God. Whatever is contrary could be quantified as immoral. That which is congruent and consistent with the immutable character of the Christian God.